Nanashi. Set yourself on fire.
What is up, YouTube? This is Nanashi, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. This time I'll be showing you the changes and updates to my Fire deck. To be honest, there haven't been a tremendous number of changes. We got one extremely important card taken off the ban list entirely, which I'm ecstatic about, but it didn't really change enough about the deck to create an update for. So, I also included a tech card that many people have been recommending for me for a long time, but that I've been hesitant to include, but you'll see what I'm talking about when we take a closer look. Starting off with the monsters, we have a pair of Coach Soldier Wolfbark. It resummons any level 4 Fire Beast Warrior from the graveyard in defense mode with its effects negated as a hard once per turn. I originally ran this at 3, but I cut it to 2 because I'm starting to realize that it bricks in the hand really badly early in the game. A playset of Fire King Avatar Arvada. It can negate the effect of a monster by destroying a fire monster in my hand or on my field, except himself. Also, if it happens to be destroyed and sent to the graveyard, I can target any fire beast, beast warrior, or winged beast in the graveyard except a copy of himself, and special summon it with its effects negated, but it self-destructs at the end of the turn. A playset of Fire King Avatar Barong. If a face of Fire King monster is destroyed by card effect, you can special summon him from the hand. Also, if he happens to be destroyed by card effect and sent to the graveyard, then during the next standby phase, provided he's still there, I can add any Fire King card from my deck to my hand. A playset of Fire King Avatar Yaksha. He has the same self-summoning effect as Barong, where if a Fire King monster on the field is destroyed by card effect, you can special summon him, but as a hard once per turn, if he happens to be destroyed by battle or card effect, I can destroy any card in my hand or on my field. The playset of Fire King High Avatar Garunix is usually the main target for Yaksha's ability, provided I have copies of it in my hand. If it's destroyed by card effect and sent to the graveyard, then during the next standby phase I can special summon him and then destroy all monsters on the field except himself. And that's not once per turn, so I can do that multiple times. Also, if he happens to be destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, he can special summon any other Fire King Avatar monster except a copy of himself out of the deck. And a playset of the techie card that I'm not exactly ecstatic about, True King Agnimazu the Vanisher. If it's in my hand, I can destroy 2 monsters including a fire monster and special summon him, and if both targets happen to be fire monsters, I can also banish any monster on the opponent's field or in their graveyard. But beyond that, the rest of its abilities aren't even usable in an all-fire deck, which has always been the dynamic of this deck, so I feel like I can't ever use it to its full capability. Next we move into the spell cards. A playset of Called by the Grave. And yes, I know that hand traps are cycling their way out of the game right now, slowly but surely, but I still see them way too often, as well as too many graveyard-based monster effects to not run this card at the moment. 1 Circle of the Fire Kings. It's a quick play spell that targets a fire monster you control and one in your graveyard, destroying the one on the field, and special summoning the target from the graveyard. A pair of Cosmic Cyclone. Yes, I have finally upgraded my decks from running MST to Cosmic Cyclone, and I'm glad I did it. A playset of Fire Formation Tenki. On activation, it adds any Beast Warrior level 4 or lower from deck to hand, and all Beast Warrior monsters you control gain 100 attack, but you can only activate 1 copy of this spell per turn. A playset of Fire King Island. Now, if it's on the field face up and it's destroyed or banished, then all monsters you control are automatically destroyed. Also, you get a hard once per turn ability of either destroying a monster in your hand or on your field to search a Fire King monster to your hand, or, if you control no monsters, you can special summon a Fire Winged Beast out of the hand. A playset of Onslaught of the Fire Kings. If you don't control any monsters but your opponent does, you can special summon any Fire Beast, Winged Beast, or Beast Warrior out of your deck with its effects negated and it's destroyed during the end phase. 1 Monster Reborn. 1 Pot of Avarice. I have been ecstatic to use this card in some deck ever since I saw it off the ban list. It adds back any 5 monsters from the graveyard back to your deck and then lets you draw 2 cards. 1 Raigeki, mostly as a negate bait, but I also realized that people never run this card, therefore no one ever sees it coming. A playset of Rekindling. This card resummons any fire monsters from your graveyard with 200 defense, but banishes all of them during the end phase. And 1 Terraforming to add that Fire King Island from deck to hand. Now I do only run 1 trap card, and that's a copy of Metaverse, for the same reason as Terraforming, since it's down to 1. Next we move into the side deck. I have a playset each of Dark Ruler No More, Herald of the Abyss, Solemn Johnson, Solemn Strike, and Solemn Warning. And finally, we finish up with the extra deck. First, I have a playset of Brotherhood of the Firefist Tiger King. Now, when Xyz summoned, he can set any Fire Formation spell trap right out of the deck. He can also detach a material to negate the effects of all currently face-up monsters on the field until the opponent's next end phase, except for Beast Warrior monsters. Also, if he happens to be destroyed and sent to the graveyard while I control 3 Fire Formation spell traps, I can send all 3 of them to the graveyard and special summon 2 Fire Beast Warrior monsters from my deck who have the same attack in defense mode. I also still run a pair of Crooked Cook even though I never summoned the darn thing, but while I control no other cards, he is unaffected by all card effects. But during either player's turn, I can also detach a material to destroy all other cards I currently control, and he gains 300 attack points until the end phase for every monster destroyed by this effect. And add to that he's also a Rekindling target. Moving into the links, and yes, I feel like this deck's best potential is at a link spam at the moment. We have a playset of Dual Little Chimera, a playset of Firefighting Darumidal, which gains 100 attack for every Beast, Beast Warrior, and Wing Beast on the field, can target and destroy a spell trap on each side of the field once per turn, and if it destroys something in battle, it can add any Beast, Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast from your graveyard or banish pile back to your hand. 1 copy of Hita the Fire Charmer Ablaze. It can resummon any fire monster from your opponent's graveyard to a zone she points to, and if she's destroyed and sent to the graveyard by the opponent, I can add any fire monster with 1500 or less defense from my deck to my hand. A pair of Salaman Great Heat Leo. When Link summoned, it sends any opponent's spell trap in their back row back to the deck. Sadly, it doesn't work on field spells. But if I happen to link summon it using a copy of itself as material, it allows me to target a monster on the field and a monster in the graveyard. The monster on the field's attack becomes the same as the monsters in the graveyard. And finally, 1 copy of Amphibious Swarm Ship Amblo Whale. It gains 200 attack for every Link monster in either player's graveyard. If it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, I can special summon any Link 3 or lower monster from either graveyard to my field, and if a Link monster on the field is destroyed, I can banish him out of the graveyard to destroy any card on the field without targeting. And that is the deck. Now, I do wish I had more to update on this deck with, but unfortunately, Fire Kings just have received next to no support in the last several years, barring, 1 card out of a main set, and that was Arvada. But given that Konami has been updating old structure decks, I'm kinda hoping they're gonna revamp the Fire King structure deck in the near future as well. And if they do, maybe we'll finally get more self-summoning monsters, maybe even a new boss monster to go alongside Garunix that can handle spell traps. I don't know what the future of this deck is, but right now I'm pretty satisfied with it, even if I do have to run Agni Mazut as a good Kickstarter. I thank you guys for watching the deck profile, and if you can think of any ways that I can improve this all-fire deck, feel free to let me know. In the meantime, this has been Nanashi, signing out.